Hello friends, welcome again to my YouTube channel where I share great ideas. So last time I showed you some great ideas on how to make the containers for the hydroponic method. One of the things that I discovered just before I made that video, I showed you the algae that grows would grow on here because these containers are a bit translucent, and I was trying to figure out how I could do that, and then I just happened to stumble upon that idea. Do you remember what it was? Well, if you remember, you probably remember, but what I said was use 2 containers and that'll block out the light. Yesterday I ate most of that bok choy and stir fry. It was fantastic, and I couldn't eat it all, so I saved a couple and just took it out of that long container with the downspout and put it into one of these and added the second container. This one turned out really good. I don't know why. Nice thick stems and that, but sometimes you just luck out. Some of them go tall. And I guess I had to save another one. Here's another one. Yeah, this is a fantastic method to grow stuff. And again, I just put it into another container, took it out, put it in there. Because you can pull those plants out anytime. It's not like you're in the ground. You can, where you have to, once it's in the ground, it's in the ground. You don't get much chance. But you can just pull them out and put them in something else. Or, now, here's one that I ate. It looks like a tornado hit it, actually, but you can see the root that was on there. That's why things grow so well. You're providing all the nutrient that a plant requires to grow. So I promised you, yeah, and I brought a different plant down here that is experimenting with. It's Chinese greens. I wasn't sure how it would grow, but it's got nice big leaves, and they're not quite as green as the last ones, but not bad, and they actually taste really good. Well, looks like I got to answer the phone. Okay, well anyway, yeah, as I was mentioning, they're actually quite good. So this is what we're going to make today, is one of these. And these work really well because they are thick enough the light doesn't penetrate them. And this is quite a short one. I had a friend bring this up from Oregon, but they're 10 feet long, so you had to chop the end off. So I ended up with some short pieces. But anyway, this is nice. You can pick it up and carry it around. The longer ones, 3-foot ones, they're a little heavy. You get them full of water and you try to move them and they're wiggly jiggly. But anyway, so this is what we're going to do today. So you're going to use 3 inches from the end. So I'm going to mark this out. Let's see here. I guess I'm going to have to move this down here so you can see what I'm actually doing here. So 3 inches from the ends, that'll be, I'm going to put that in pencil. And we'll do that on both ends. And then in this case, and you can do it all kinds of ways, I just want them evenly spaced. I'm going to find the center. So this is 26, so 13. And then I'm going to go 4 inches, so we'll put one there at 17. And another one here at 21, going the other way, 13, 9, and 5. Okay. So then I'm just going to take a felt pen here and mark those just where I'm going to make the holes, okay? Now the next thing that we're going to do, and you can do it, we're going to drill 2-inch holes for the pool noodles, and you can go ahead and drill that with that, but you might find it a little easier to do the holes with another drill where you can actually see. Because with the hole saw on there, it'll wander around because you really can't see the end of the drill. Okay, got that done. Now we can go to the 2-inch one, okay? Now, what they recommend is to run that in reverse, and if you run it in reverse, it's not going to drill the hole very good. So we'll just put that in reverse. And we'll do another one. Now you can go forward too, but you have to be a little more careful because those things there. So I'll drill one forward. So it goes through there really quick when you put it forward. There we go. It caught. Okay, we got it through, but the stuff is chopped up a little bit more. And the hole is a lot rougher there, around the edges there, as you can see it. So I think I'll do the next ones backwards. I was standing up and I could do things a little easier. Okay, so there we got all our holes in there, okay? Now why did I drill the holes before I folded the ends up? Well, you might notice it's quite obvious. Then you have some of these that are in the inside, and then it's you got stuff all over, as you can see on the table here. Well, the one that I did forward has got things on it. I have to pull them off anyway. So highly advisable. Now, is that all we have to do? Well, this is another great idea that I don't see on Mike's videos on Keep On Growing. Watch his and see how he does it too. That's how I learned, and then I've just come up with some other ideas. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drill a hole way off center here. Now, can you guess what that's for? Well, think about it. You got plants in all of the holes there. How do you get water into it? You got to take one out. And okay, so I'm going to drill a smaller hole. This is a 1-inch. You don't even have to go quite that big. So run this one in reverse as well. There we go. Okay. Now we got a fill hole that you can put your fluid in, because the plant's going to use up some. It's big enough to stick your finger in, so that's the tester that you use. Just stick your finger, take it out, look, oh, you got only 1 inch of water there. Add some more. You just use a funnel there. You might have saw that on the one that I did already. Okay, so I'm going to move stuff around here a little bit and get ready to form up the ends here. Yeah, I'm going to use heat. I don't want to melt my plants. Anyway, okay, we'll be back. Okay, I watched Mike's videos there, how to fold up the ends, and I advise you to do the same. But it's kind of a little learning curve when you haven't done it before. And it's very easy to do, and you can do it right the first time. But you need a little bit more aids than what he was doing. At least that's what I found. The first side of the first ones that I did was, let's say, on this one, it's got water in here. You'll notice the end there, how it goes up in the air. And the sides are kind of sucked in here. Just doesn't look that good, you know. But then I kind of come up with some other ideas, and it works a lot better than doing that. Anyway, I'll show you how to do that in a second. Okay, I practiced on the other end of this one, and you'll notice how straight and flat that is. Bottom looks good too. Bottom looks good too. Nice, even, tight bends here. Comes across there really well. Well, anyway, to do that, you have to make a jig. You start by making a jig, and here's my jig here. Okay, sort of what it looks like. Now, if you watch his videos, he just uses these cross members here on it, and works from there. But I modified this a little bit by putting a piece of wood at the end so it sticks out to 3 inches. And that will support the bottom, because when you do it, you're going to get some heat on the bottom, and that's where you get that ugly thing, because we're actually working upside down, even though I showed that one to you right side up, and that. So with a support underneath here, that will help you to stay flat. And I've made most of mine that I made just like that, with the piece and then this on here. But on this last one that I did, I got to thinking about it, and you're heating the top of the and then this goes in here. I'll just stick that in there upside down. Okay. You want to have that so it's a tight fit, and you don't even have to mark it where the 3 inches is, because you stick that out 3 inches there. And then we're going to be heating all this up in here, and this is not necessary. I've done good ones without that, and I don't know if it aids that much. I decided I'd put a piece of wood on the top here, just a little tiny bit back from the edge there. Okay, you can see that little bit back there. And then I have a heating there. That'll kind of be like a heat dam. And it didn't do too bad, so I'll use it and on making this one here. And you can kind of see how it works. It's probably not necessary. And it might be more bother than good. It might cause more problems, but I was happy with that. Anyway, so that's the jig. You just make it a 2x4s and a cross member, a few screws, and it comes out quite easy. Some of the other tools that you're going to need to do this, of course, is a heat gun, and this is just a heat gun from a hardware store here in Canada called Canadian Tire. I got it quite cheap at the time. You watch and you can get things on sale or whatever. And so you need a heat gun. That's the major thing that you need. And where I was able to get these sharp edges and bends, and it worked well for me, is I'm using some clamps. So maybe C-clamp will work. The first ones I did, I used this clamp, Sometimes one of these little things will work too, to hold the one side while you're working on the other side. And but I found that these parallel wood clamps, I've got lots of these, but they work. And you can do it without any of this extra tools too, you know. So just watch his video because he doesn't use that. But you want to get it good the first time. Try one without and then see how you do. Maybe you'll do way better than I can. So anyway, we're just about ready to start. Oh yeah, you're going to need some gloves too. I find these work just well. They're not big and clumsy. They fit on your hands real well. And so gloves, must have gloves. Okay, so we'll just position this here and get ready to do it. You'll kind of just watch me doing it here. I think it's quite important that you kind of watch the whole process there. Otherwise, you'll be really wondering. It's hard to fill in the gaps if you don't see the whole thing. Okay, so heat gun. This is a little awkward for me because I'm sitting down. Usually you should stand right in front of it, but I'm trying to get it so you can see it. So I'm struggling here a little bit to get this done. I've heated it a little bit because it takes a little time, but you want to use high power on a fairly reasonable. And you've all done Christmas presents, folded up the ends of Christmas presents, so you should be able to do first-class job the first time. So you just heat it. The corners, you'll find that the corners need a little extra heat. Across the top. This is a little floppy. Make sure the bottom corner where that goes. Okay. Okay, a little shot there, a little shot there. Okay, well, we'll give it a try. So, that's going to go down and around just like you were doing. If you get this bottom corner, you can get that right down quite nicely. Okay, there and there. Okay. Now this is where I'm going to use this, just to hold that. And I'm going to use the clamp on this side. And you can, if you don't have a clamp, you'll have to hold it. Oops, see, I got a little talking here. There we get that. Clamps really make it nice to squeeze those edges down. That other gadget there is kind of in my way there a little bit, but okay. So I got that one, see? Nice sharp bend there. This is bent in, but we'll get that straightened out. Warm this up again. And push that in there. Okay. Just with your fingers, you know, you can. I find the clamp is a good idea. It gets right in there to the corner. Okay. Just squeeze that. That side's really nice and straight. Okay. Just want to bring these corners up a little bit more in there. Once you have heat to it, it stays for a while. Okay, we'll push that one in, push this one in, and I'll just hold that. Let's get the clamp and clamp that in again. Another shot here. Okay. And this is okay. We could heat that a little bit there. Just making a real sharp little bend there. Okay. And there we have it. It looks basically flat on the top there, quite flat. Not all bent up. Because without that little support here that's sticking out here, you'll get the heat and it'll bend up when you're struggling with it there. Okay, and bottom looks good, the sides look good, squeezed in a little bit on the edges here from the clamp there. But for an amateur, I'd say that's a first-class job. And you can do the same too if you add some of these things. This top part may be not necessary. The bottom is super necessary. You won't, you'll just be frustrated if you don't do it. So there, we got it all done. We got our holes in here. We've got a hole, a test hole for our finger to fill it up. But are we done yet? No, we're not done yet. And this is another great idea that Mike hadn't put in his video, is the longer ones that I had on the table here, when you have them full and you go to pick them up, the water sloshes back and forth, and it just pours out the end there, and you get it all over the floor. So the next step is going to be to seal these ends. So we'll do that now, okay? And you'll wish you had if you don't. And so I'm doing that on all of mine, is just put some silicone or something in here, and you'll be happy when you get it done. So I'll go get some silicone type stuff, and I'll do those up right now, and then we'll be done. Okay, now we're going to seal out the ends. And what do you get? I mentioned silicone. I got some of this stuff here. It's called Dynaflex 230, and it's called Window and Door Siding Trim. It says it's 100% waterproof, so that's good. Seals joints up to 5 centimeters wide. So, you know, if you do a lousy job, you're still going to be able to seal it up, I guess. And it's paintable. Well, we don't have to paint it anyway. Ideal for wood, composite, and PVC trim. So it seems to be fairly good. I didn't buy silicone because silicone was almost twice as much as this, and so go the best route you have, or whatever you have. You may have something else. All the ones I did so far, I've been using some of this construction heat adhesive, and it's worked well. it just takes maybe a week or two to seal up. Anyway, so you know how to do this. Just a little bit of pressure and put a nice gob over your thing, and make sure you get right out at the end here, because that's where the water can come out, is right there. Okay, and we'll go across this side, and I'll come around here. This is probably a little, you can't see very well there. And we'll get right at the end there. And we'll release the pressure on there. Okay, so that's kind of a lousy job, I would say. But put it in there. But what you can do here, want to smooth that out. And what's better than your finger? Okay, so you lick your finger first. Get a little bit wet, and then the stuff won't stick to it, and you just go along and that's all there is to it. And if you want, I guess this stuff, you could lick your finger off, but it probably wouldn't be the best idea. Anyway, so I'll just wipe my finger off there. We're all set. Okay, so that's all there is to it. Nice and smooth, and looks pretty good. And that's the end of, it's got it nicely folded up. These work really well, especially the short ones. You can pick them up and move the things around. And you take the plants out, put it in something else if you need to. Remember the fill hole here. And by using this plywood setup with the extended end here, you'll do a good job. This probably is not necessary at all, but I thought I'd do one with that. And oh yeah. Yesterday we did these containers here and put the goop around here. If you come up with some better idea than goop, like to know, but it works really well. You maybe even could use some of this silicone type stuff would work on that. You want something that sticks and penetrates in. So anyway, that's it. Keep on growing and eating. You can eat right off the plant. Yeah. Get hungry. Good. Anyway, next video, we'll do some maybe the nutrient mixing that. I don't know if I've done that before, so we'll maybe do that. Anyway, this kind of concludes the majority of the work on here. Now it's just, I've had a great time experimenting, and now the rest is all up to you. Start your seeds. Get a few containers, modify them, and you're well on your way to some good quality food. So subscribe, and we'll see what else crazy ideas I come up with.